Good afternoon. Just checking my disk space. I am running out. It's not good. I was just checking that. I've got a couple of things that I want to do coming up, and I might put it in the schedule before I forget, because I always forget because I'm a bit of a dumbo. So, as I mentioned yesterday, there's a couple of things happening in Simracing upcoming. A few things haven't got dates, so we don't know when they're coming out. I don't know if I'll do streams for those. So the upcoming things obviously are the GT3s getting released for Le Mans Ultimate. But unless they make a patch which gives me a VR mirror so I can broadcast it, I can't broadcast it. As you say, the 1.6 patch for Automobilista 2 is imminent, and apparently it's got a lot of content to try out in it, so that might be fun. The other thing is I installed Race Room Experience again yesterday. Because upcoming, apparently on, I think it's the 10th of December. So the 10th of December, if I look at the calendar, is a Tuesday. Why wouldn't it be anything but a Tuesday? Everything's a Tuesday. So the 10th of December, a Tuesday, they're releasing the Super Tourers. So I've got to think of maybe I want to buy them, maybe I don't. I pretty much rage quit Race Room Experience last time I tried it on stream because I was so upset with this new hailed force feedback update, and when I tried it, there was nothing. The wheel was dead. But I installed it last night, and it had some feeling to it. So I don't know what happened. I don't know. But Race Room Experience DLC is normally quite cheap. Now, I was advised to try and buy up some virtual currency. Now, I was just going to show the link for it. Where are we? Right, so I think I should be able to show this on stream. If I could just find my window. So this website here is where you buy the virtual currency. Now, it's to make it awkward, it's got a completely different place from the shop where you buy the cars. So you have to go hunting for this. So I was advised to buy up some virtual currency when it's on sale. So you see that it's got quite a lot of money off here. Particularly this one here. You get like 11... Well, it's £10 and 1p, isn't it? Or in this case, euros. I was told to buy up some virtual currency so that if things go on sale, I can then buy them for cheap. Now, the trick was, or did seem to be, that doing that would save money. So I set my my currency to be pounds, and then I said, "Oh, I'm going to buy up 5,000 virtual points, which is $39.99." It's not a straight conversion. In fact, we're losing out in pounds because 39.99 euros. If we check, unless it's changed, €39.99 is 33 £33.25. So we're getting shortchanged in euros. So looking at that in pounds is not a good deal. So I went to the Raceroom website and I filled up my cart with 5,000 virtual points worth of DLC. It came to, I think it was £5 more. And I was like, what? I thought it was supposed to be cheaper doing it the virtual currency way. But, if you set it to euros, which is international, you then buy $39.99 of virtual race points, and then go and put in 5,000 virtual race points of DLC in your cart. Set that to euros too, of course. You save 0.9 cents. If you didn't do it in euros, you would be paying £5 more. So, I don't know. I'm not a fan of virtual currency. So, it's all a bit like, you know. And in effect as well, Raceroom has like bundles and stuff like that, packs which obviously come down in price. Now, obviously, they may discount the pack, the Super Tourist pack, when it gets released a little, but not an awful lot, because they're completely separate from Steam. They can do their own stuff, which is good. I was just going to log in to the actual website so you can see the right. So this is the Raceroom website, where you would look at the leaderboards, where you could actually launch the game from. I think you log into this via Steam. So I put in what I thought was the tracks and things that I could want, up to 5,000, and you see that it's, you probably can't see, oh, you can see it, for €40 at 89. So I would be not even saving at all. Well, I'd be saving 89 cents or 90 cents if I did it the virtual currency way. Doesn't really make any sense, does it? But looking at the store as well, they have released some cars and tracks that I didn't actually realise. I bought most of the stuff back in 2019 and 2022. But looking at the tracks that they've got, I didn't know they'd done these. So they've got Bruno, Charade, they got Pau, they got Interlagos. Avis obviously was released when the DTM cars came out. Same as Fliegerhorst Diepholz, which is basically just running around the infield of an airfield. But it got Hockenheim Classic. So this, I think, is the 80s version of Hockenheim, with those horrible chicanes in it. So before they changed, so they slowed them down before the Ost curve. So that's where Pironi had his accident, I think. But I think that's the only... Oh, no, there was two chicanes they had. It wasn't... There was one there, and then there was one after that. Yeah, so the layout actually shows there's two chicanes. So each track, undiscounted, because that one particularly has not got a discount on it, €6.98. for one track, maybe a bit much, isn't it? But if it's on discount, €2.49 for Charade. It's the newer version of Charade, so not like the big, huge one where you go out onto the cliffside and, you know. But Interlagos is on sale, 50% off. I mean, all of those are 50% off. They got Oschersleben as well. But in terms of cars and things, I'm not really that interested in the cars they've got because I've bought most of them. The only ones that I've got left over are maybe like a Formula Junior. It doesn't kind of list them by what I have bought and what I haven't. So the store can be a little bit confusing because you see how all of these are lit up. I've bought some of these. So for example, I don't think I've bought any of the GT3s. What one's a good example? Have I bought the KTM? No, I haven't bought any of them. There's supposed to be a back button, isn't there? Don't know. But the added advantage of Race Room is you can test drive anything. So you can try before you buy. Particularly up until the 6th of December. Now, I'm not affiliated with Race Room at all. Just putting that out there. You can try every single bit of content for free. So that's what I had to play with last night. Up to 6th of December. Also, Race Room, I think, has the facility to run against content that you don't own. So as long as you've got the car that you're in and the track that you're racing on, you don't have to own anything else. So that's the kind of Formula Junior and the I don't know what you'd call that one, like a kit car, which I kind of liked. But all of the touring car stuff I could take or leave. It's not really my thing. But say I mostly got all of it. There's not really much more to buy. So yeah, they've got some classic Porsches. The driver's pack is like the Charade with those. I mean, it's got like an MX-5. Who doesn't love an MX-5? And then you've got what is basically like an IMSA pack. So you got a Mazda DPI, a KTM, and I think that's a McLaren. Set of BMWs, but the rest of it I've basically got. But you can buy a single paint job from a car, but new paint jobs will be released for that car later on. So it looks like you haven't bought everything. So if you're of like the completionist variety and you don't like things uncompleted, then it's your worst nightmare because you think you've bought a car and it shows that you haven't. You're like, well, I must, you know. But if you like with Steam, if you own stuff in the pack already, it's going to discount you. So, but yeah, we'll have to see what kind of price it comes out at. The added thing is that the Super Tourers aren't coming out in one pack. So, what I'm led to believe is there's going to be, is it 4 in the first pack? I'm only going off what they showed on their press release in Steam. And I mean, the where they put their news is quite confusing as well. Because I looked up the Race Room website, which hasn't been updated since 2019. They stopped using that as a news portal, I'm guessing, their main website. And then I went to their Steam page, and then that's where they're putting all their updates. So yeah. So I may be doing something then. I did say I was going to schedule it, didn't I? But I didn't get around to that. I got really distracted. Right. Let's see if I can actually put that in the... What section is it in? Channel? Schedule. So I'm going to put in Super Tourers stream. Race and experience. Probably at 3 PM on a Tuesday. Don't know. Where are we? 10th. I've also got access to an alpha of an online RPG. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I haven't got room on my discs at the moment to install it. But apparently it's got some kind of cool ideas with player created content. It uses a little bit of AI to make in-game assets, which is very weird and interesting at the same time. So I may give that a go on stream sometime. I don't know if I've got a time limit for that, but I may do that because I'm in my quiet period of work coming up to Christmas. What else? What else is upcoming? So that's December. Oh yeah, and December the 1st, I'm probably going to be getting back into Satisfactory, because they're doing a Christmas event, which is called Fixmas. Now I kind of I would say got a little bit burnt out on, because I always do it. I always go too hard into the game. Just got to find out what day. So the 1st of... Oh, hang on a second. The 1st of December is a Sunday. And we are racing round 6 on the 1st of December, so that's got to be an early stream. So it's basically a Christmas event for the game Satisfactory. So that might be worth doing. And I want to kind of start from scratch. I got so far with my build of my factory that it kind of got too big for me to kind of to keep track of, there was so many moving parts to it, and it was so unorganized that my brain couldn't function. It became every time I wanted to go back into the factory, I was like, maybe not. So let's go back to what we're going to do today. So if you saw yesterday's stream, we did our first few races of season 6 of my Simracing NOOB replays. So looking at the list, because I've got the list up now in advance so I can check. So we basically did 4 races. Now we did a pre-season test, which was round 0, which was Kyalami. We did round 1, which is Zandvoort. We did round 2, which is Spa, and we did round 3, which is Monaco. It started okay, didn't it? But it didn't really continue that way. So as I said in the title, we're going to be doing 4 rounds today. That's 4, not with the thumb. 4. Which is going to finish off the round season 6. Yes, Monaco was very interesting. There was a lot of storylines in there I was quite interested in. So I missed a couple of rounds, whether through work, holidays, travel. I do not know what I was doing in 2002. But we can do round 5, round 6, round 7, and round 9. So Silverstone, Nordschleife, Mosport, and Snetterton. So what I might do in anticipation, I think I need to come out of the game for this. I can't just install a track and then hope that it picks it up, can I? Right, let's see if we can find the track for Snetterton. Grand Prix Legends. Where's my tracks? S for Snetterton. I mean, it's probably just going to be Snetterton 6 to 7, isn't it? Oh, excuse me. Oh, I forgot. More Dr. Pepper. Right. Snetterton. Where are you, Snetterton? Snow Glen. No, it's not it. Snet. Snetterton Heath. Well, it's probably going to be the GPLEA one because the other one was released. Oh no, the other one was released in 2000. Well, we'll soon find out. We'll soon find out. I mean, oh, I forgot that it does an install thing, doesn't it? Okay. Extract to Grand Prix Legends. I never know how to install these things. I never like it when it has like an exe. Add to World Championship. No. Install track. Install track completed. That was simple. And the replay screen should show it straight away, shouldn't it? Should. If I've done it correctly. Yeah! There we go. So we can see Snetterton. Now it's a server replay. That probably means I got disconnected, didn't it? Or I forgot to save my own replay. I don't know. So, Silverstone. So we know for a fact that the token system has gone. It's been replaced by a pit stop system. So the faster your car, the more time you go into the pits. I know for a fact because I got penalised at Spa, didn't I? Stopping 2 seconds short of my pit stop and then getting penalised by 20 seconds, I think, which seems a bit harsh. You gain 2 seconds, but then they just penalise you 20. So that took me off the podium at Spa, which I was a little bit annoyed. So 20 seconds for the Ferrari. The Eagle and the Lotus are going to be more than that, so they're probably in the 30 seconds, 40 seconds mark. You then got every single other car, which is less than that. And you can kind of tell that I wasn't really thinking strategy too much. I was just thinking, I want to run this car. and screw the consequences. Because at Monaco, I was one of the only people that ran quite a high-powered car, and I paid the penalty literally, because a low-powered car probably would have got around the same lap time, but I wouldn't have had the penalty in the pits. So I don't know why I chose to do it that way. So what have I chosen for one of the fastest circuits on the calendar? Am I going to be in a Ferrari? Because I don't think I've picked anything else yet. Although maybe I was in a Cooper. No, I pick a Cooper for the Kyle Army race. I wondered why I picked a Cooper. Right, I'm in the Ferrari. Okay. So, we're second on the grid. Who'd have thought it? So if we go forwards, so it's Andy Straw in first in a Brabham. So I'm going to have to overhaul him. That's if I make it through turn one. Andy Neville in third in an Eagle. So I'm going to beat him out of the pit stops. Paul Villiers is back there. Mark Pickford in a Honda back here. John Roberts in a BRM. Don't ask me why the so what view should we take? Should we take this one? Let's see what my reaction time. Oh, I got a good start there. I seem to be the only one that went. Are we at the lead by turn one? We are. Side by side through turn one. Up to turn two. Come on, camera. I lost it. Who is that and where did they come from? That Honda is Derek Jones. He made an epic start from somewhere. I didn't see a Honda on the grid. So if he overhauls me on track, then I'm going to have a hard job of getting back past him. So having to go defensive already. This might be a very competitive 24 laps. And this is letting Andy Straw get away. Now, I suppose if I was using my brain, it might have been a good idea to let Derek pass. And let him go and attack Andy. Potentially slowing them both down. But instead, I kind of said, I want to keep this second place. But whether or not I can pull away. So, fastest lap 135 by the leader. We hit a little bit of grass on entry there. I'm doing 136. Brake's a bit late for turn 3. Turn 4. They kept this layout for quite a while. The Silverstone they were running on in the early 1980s was this layout, I think. They obviously had gravel traps and stuff. But can you imagine, like, ground effect cars around this layout of track? It's no wonder it was the fastest track on the calendar, which I think even beat the average speed of Monza. And it's weird as well that with all the the versions of Silverstones that have come out for Sims, it's always been like, I mean, when it came out in Gone 2005 in R Factor 1, obviously kind of unlicensed. Oh, Derek runs a bit wide there. It wasn't like the adjusted version because that hadn't been built yet. So the main straight was in a different place, wasn't it? But no one ever made anything further back. I think the only sim that's actually done a really historic version of Silverstone is Automobilista 2. I think. Unless I remember that wrong. But it's kind of weird how a track that was basically put onto an airfield, which is technically flat, became what it is today. But look how he's pulling away. Now we've stabilised our lap times to 130s. Fastest lap time the 129.7 for the leader, and I'm just at a 129.1, 130.1. So we're now gapping the Honda, but again, I've got to gap this Honda by, I'm going to estimate 15 seconds in order to beat them. So I reckon I've got a net third place here. But you remember I was saying before is that the seasons seem to go like this. I'd have a good race and a bad race, and a good race and a bad race. So I had an absolute shocker at Monaco. I missed out round 4 for whatever reason that was. Round 4 was Rouen. And I'm back for Silverstone. With what looks like quite a solid drive. Started second, I'm in second. Which probably means it's going to be very boring. And we're just on lap 4. I mean, the pit stops do spice it up a little, but I don't even see 4th place. So if we go back, so I'm at turn 1. So 4th place, well, it says 6th place there. Where's 4th place? I don't know where 4th place is. It doesn't show 4th place. There's those 2 cars behind Derek and the Honda. It says they were 5th and 6th. Odd. Whether it hadn't updated the positions. See the full main straight there. The full main straight I've got in as an advantage. So if we say that that 4th and 5th are, that's an Eagle and a Honda. So I'm going to beat the Honda and I'm going to beat the Eagle out of the pits. So it's looking like a 3rd place in the back here. Oh, I've jinxed it, haven't I? I've jinxed it. But the amount I'm putting out on the Honda looks like we're going to be quite close in pit stops. But I'm definitely not going wide enough on some of the entries to some of these turns. That seems to be one of my traits. I never use all of the track. But obviously in the days of when we were using like 15, 17-inch monitors or whatever, we didn't really have good visibility. I mean, even now, when I have some depth perception in VR, I'm finding that even then, I don't have my car all the way to the side of the track. I think just a fear of putting my rear wheels on the grass, you know. I mean, I still think that VR does give you a little bit... Oh, that was Derek having a bit of an off there. That's more time for me. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 seconds gap. It needs to be more than that. It needs to be probably about 10, 15 seconds. Do you think the pit stop could be taken at any time, or do you reckon they had like it could only be taken between these laps? Because I mean, you could take the pit stop now. It's only lap 7. So I've done now a 129.9. Best lap time 129.5. Fastest lap time is a 129.3. So now I'm wondering whether in my racing brain back then I'm thinking more tactically. Ooh, had a little bit of a run off the track there. Because even if I catch Andy in front in the Brabham, he's stopping less time. But maybe my brain was wired a little bit differently then. I could kind of think that if I... Oh, pit stops! The 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I think we made extra sure there. So I did hear a couple of people that passed me there. Particularly an Eagle. Right, there's a Brabham. And there's a Honda. Is that the Honda that I was hoping that I was going to get out in front of? It is the Honda I was hoping to get out in front of. So I think I'm down in 4th now. With an Anthony Cook. He's in a Brabham. He's still got to stop, so he might come out just behind me. This is all very confusing. I've got to do this tonight with pit stops with the Super Formula. So... I wonder whether you had to actually... I think you did have to stop in your pit stall as well. Oh, hang on a minute. I'm hearing something. I thought that was a spluttering engine then. So I'm in 5th. So we've got Cook ahead of us, and we've got Neville ahead of us. flag. Oh, someone's gone for a bit of a journey there. Still not getting these exits right. Bit of understeer. Oh, looks like someone exited stage left there. So, our last lap was a 2:01. We're back in the 129s. So it's still Cook. And there's Andy Straw. So Andy Straw has had his pit stop. And he's come out basically, you know, not that far ahead. So the chase is on. But again, thinking about what we would have known back then, it would have been very hard for strategy. It's always, you know, in hindsight, I can see who's ahead. I know who that is. But whether we would know in terms of, you know, what was displayed on our pit board, maybe a lap delay, we would have very little information. See if anyone else is coming into the pits. So this Cook fellow is doing 1:31, so we are catching because we're in the 1:30s. So I wonder how easy it's be able to get past. But again, I think he's got to pits, so. I mean, it looks like I've got force feedback on the wheel, doesn't it? By just the way that the wheel looks like it was vibrating there. I know that I probably had some centering on the wheel. But I don't necessarily think I had force feedback. But I don't think force feedback came out when the game released, did it? It had to be patched in. Whether officially or unofficially, I can't remember. I'm definitely catching this Brabham. That was a bit too late, Neil. Need to get that nose in. Right, we're up to 4th now, so we've passed. Probably that Eagle has pitted. I mean, this is kind of part of me that, even though these pit stops are involved, you kind of think that even if you're racing against someone that you know is going to pass you in a pit stop, you could kind of harry them to make them make a mistake, which would gain you more time. I think I'm giving that white curb a bit of a wide berth. You remember that highlight video I showed you of that Ferrari? At Silverstone. No, I wasn't in a Ferrari, was I? I was in a Brabham. So it can't be this round. I don't even know if that was a race either. That took me a bit by surprise, even when viewing it. So back in third. So the chase is on to Derek. There's Derek Jones. So he's done his pit stop. So the two people that are racing with are directly ahead. I mean, it was weird that I think the Honda was quite fast in a straight line. Oh! Damn it, Derek! That's unlucky. I could have got the place then. But I overreacted. Because I thought I was going to hit him. I followed him! I followed him! He did a shift R there. I think he's possibly got some damage. Back up to second. How about that? So I now can't see. After that spin, I now can't see. So that's the leader. He's already in turn 1, so he's miles away. So, lap 14 of 24. He's having real trouble, isn't he? He's having real trouble. He's probably got cold tyres and a full fuel load. But you know, one thing I'm not seeing is that Sean fellow. I mean, we haven't actually lapped anybody. So. I kind of wish there was a way to have like an overlay or something, whether they can grab the information out of the replay and have it synced up. I don't know if that was possible. Oh. Isn't this is the layout that, well, didn't Sterling Moss have an accident at Silverstone? The pit much ended his, no, it was Goodwood, wasn't it, that he ended his career? I think, no. Was it Silverstone or was it Goodwood? When he was basically, his life was saved by a couple of other drivers. Or maybe, am I thinking of, because Jackie Stewart had the same kind of thing, but Jackie Stewart was at Spa. He had to be cut free from his car by Graham Hill and someone else. But I remember that horrendous race in the wet in the I think it was early 70s. They had like a big start line accident, and then it just got worse. Mainly because of the lack of safety regulations. People like running on the track and stuff like that. Marshals running to help. it was, don't know, some of the darkest things that I've watched on in motor racing. It's a pretty lonely race now. Lap 16 of 24. Got no one catching, no one in front. I'm just hoping that I don't do one of my good old throw it away spins. But a solid drive. And I mean, this leading up to the next race, which is at the Nordschleife, so hopefully hopefully we do a bit better. Now, what strategy-wise, taking into account pit stops and things, if you were driving Nordschleife today and you had to figure out the handicap, what car would you take? I mean, taking like a slower-ish car around the Nordschleife would maybe be an advantage, but it would all. I think it would all depend on me personally, what my personal best was. Because I mean, you can lose so much time and you can gain so much time depending on whether you're in clear air or not. If you're stuck behind someone for the majority of a lap, that's time just bleeds away there. Do you know a fascinating idea, which was in kind of, I don't know if it was introduced with the EA rally games, but there's I don't know what it was. Dirt Rally, was it Dirt Rally 2? I think it was Dirt Rally 2. Introduced like moments in history. Now, whether this would be kind of looked down on by the snotty-nosed sim racers, don't you think it'd be kind of cool to have a race, like a pivotal moment in Grand Prix history, and whether you can actually complete the challenge? So let's say, for example, you could change history in 1977. So you would be set in Fuji Speedway. You would be driving Niki Lauda's car. And you would have to complete the race to win the championship and change history. 1976. Yeah, okay, whatever. I don't know when it was. Or you could have, like in the 1984 season, spoilers, Niki Lauda starting where he was and having to get to a certain points position to win the championship. So recreate his win in 1984. I mean, I kind of think that would be kind of cool. I've been pretty consistent, like 129s this whole race. Yeah. But you were quite right. In 1984, obviously, Alain Prost he was his own kind of worst enemy, really, because he was obviously waving his hand saying, I want to stop, racing at Monaco in these conditions. I want to stop, which gave him the half point. I don't know where Niki Lauda finished in that Monaco Grand Prix. But if it had gone to 4 points, would it have made any difference? It just might have meant that Niki Lauda had to finish a couple of places more in front. But you could kind of say that if the situation was different with that points gap, maybe he would have driven differently in those latter rounds. So if possibly it wouldn't have stopped the Monaco GP so early and finished second, he would have won the... Well, I mean, so he got half points. If he was going to be overtaken by Senna, no matter what, I reckon. Because Senna was just on another level in the wet. That Tolman was good, had good downforce on a street circuit. So I just think that Alain Prost would have come second in that race. But if it's half points, what was it? Was 9, wasn't it? So he got 4.5 points for the win. Is that right? But I mean, if Niki Lauda had finished that race, wouldn't he have got points too? I can't remember whether he finished the 1984 Monaco Grand Prix or not. So maybe it would have come out of the same outcome. Or did he finish it, but was he out of the points? Lap 21 of 24? I'm on my own. There's no one around. Where is everybody? Oh, was that the one where he basically kind of had a half spin, kind of came to a stop, and then he just parked up his car and got out? It was very weird. It looked like he could carry on, but he just got out and sodded off to the wherever. But I mean, I think past half distance of 1985, and I think I think I spoiled it for myself, so I know who's going to win the championship. But if you look at the rounds, the races, it's pretty much Alain Prost's championship to lose because everyone else is just so unreliable. It just seems that every race, everyone is in a position to win, and then they don't. I mean, spoiler alert: Keke Rosberg is not at Williams in 1986. At least that's what the announcement is from the latest round I've had. I think Keke was probably a bit pissed off with the amount of engine failures he had, or turbo failures, or whatever failures he had. He was leading so many times. But it's kind of a wonder how, 1985 is Senna's second year, and the commentators and everyone seems to be touting him as the next world champion already. And obviously moving to Lotus, it was like whether there wasn't any other spots in in other teams or whether he had a 2-year contract in Lotus or 3-year contract, whatever it was. But I mean, he led so much in 1985 in a car that was so unreliable. So why wouldn't you want to pick up Senna in 1986? But I think in 1986 he's in the JPS Lotus again. Because I think did it turn into the Camel Lotus in 87? I think. I can't remember. But don't know. Hindsight. Because I mean I suppose it matters the nationality back then of what people you want in the cars for politics reasons and stuff. I mean, you wouldn't really want to step into a Williams at that point because it was so damn unreliable. Oh, steady, Neil. I've been avoiding that curb all day. I do not see anybody. No one close. So I'm at turn 3, I think. And Andy Straw is already at the next turn in front of me. I always get worried when I hear the engine kind of sounding a bit rough. But that's just the external. So this is the penultimate lap. Got one more lap. So I'm in the final turn. Third place is way behind. If that is in fact third place. He's at turn 2. So I can still hear the Brabham in front, but it's just way too far ahead. There he is. A full main straight he gained on me. I mean, he was pretty much a main straight before, wasn't he? Maybe I caught up a little bit, but I think I was just very lucky with Derek Jones's Honda. Maybe I'll be in the... Oh, he's slowing down, look. What's going on here? Well, he's just stroking it in, isn't he? What? What? Am I going to inherit the win here? Why is he stopping? If that was supposed to be a stop and go, then he didn't stop. He didn't come to a stop. And the finish line's there, and I've already passed. That's weird, isn't it? I'm confused at that. I'm very confused at that. Was he trying to do a Schumacher? Okay, right. So let's see if they mention it. So Spa, We'll skip over Monaco. So we missed out Rouen. We looked at Rouen last time out. Yeah. I got promoted to the... I won! I won! I won! Let's see what the moderator had to say. There were 2 cases of people taking the Shift R without stop and go. Paul Villiers and Derek Jones. Paul V did email me but had no excuse other than age. Derek did not email me with an excuse. Can everybody please reread the rules? Oh, that's a hell of a penalty. Failure to take a stop and go gives you 6 places lost. He was docked 6 places. So if he was docked 6 places, how is he in 6th place? Because he wasn't in the lead. How's that work? How's that work? He should be in 8th. I think someone got their maths wrong. He should be in 8th place because he finished 3rd. Well, it should be 9th. Don't understand that. And I don't think there's any other... I mean, it depends what... Well, Tony got a +1, but that shouldn't affect where he got the penalty. Don't know. Lap 1 start. So that's... So I didn't see this because I was too busy getting away in the lead. This is probably why Derek Jones was right on my tail then. So Andy Neville had a customary bad start and DJ good run inside of Cops. The problem was, despite acres of room on the right, he felt he needed to take a wide line and nearly hit Andy Neville in the process. This forced Andy Neville to soar slightly to the left, and at the same time as AC, this Anthony Cook, was around the outside. The line around the outside of 2 cars was never on, even though Anthony Neville gave a gap. I don't think it was a serious overtaking move, more of emergency avoidance. That's why it's 1 place rather than 2. Warning to Andy Sorrell. Oh, I didn't see this one, because I think the camera was already zoomed out. I don't remember this. Andy Straw and NW, that's me, go around Cops side by side, which that's why I dropped back, I'm guessing. Yeah, that's why I came out of turn 2, not ahead. Go around Cops side by side. NW gets better exit and clearly ahead on the run to Maggots, but as AS moves across to take the race in line, luckily NW is alive to the situation, brakes hard to avoid contact. That's why. So basically Andy Straw just swiped across my nose and I braked to... That's why Derek was suddenly right on my rear. NW had enough of a lead to expect AS not to take the line back. AS's driving was over-aggressive, and it's only good driving from... Oh, I'm getting compliments! After he assassinated me at Monaco, I'm getting compliments! AS's driving was over-aggressive, and it's only good driving from NW, which avoided the crash. I'd never thought I'd hear myself saying that. Oh, dearie, dearie me. Well, there you go. Maybe the moderator and I are making up. I don't know. Here we go. This is what happened at the last turn. 1 place adjustment to Andy Straw. You have to feel a little sorry for Andy Straw here. He's leading into the last lap with a comfortable lead. 3 corners to go, and he loses concentration and is forced to shift R. Unfortunately, there's a little issue of the stop and go to deal with. Andy did the stop and go at the end of the lap, but of course, he passed the line as he entered the pits, winning the race. The fairest way of dealing this is to estimate how much... the racing... The line is back to the pit entry, isn't it? So he'd already won before he could stop and go. Andy did a stop and go at the end of the lap, but of course he passed the line as he entered the pits, winning the race. The fairest way of doing this is to estimate how much time Andy would have taken to get out of the pits and add that to his race time. That moves him down to second and perhaps Neil Wood to first place. So there you go. Oh, shit. You didn't see that. I didn't see it either, so I don't know who won. I don't know who won. Okay. I don't know whether I should have another Dr. Pepper break before I do this race. Right. So, if we look at our list, so we'll take a break after Nordschleife, I think. Now, I think every time that I've driven Nordschleife, it's been a disaster. I think. I think there was a time where I got like a 3rd place or a 4th place. But the cars were all strung out, so get ready to be bored. Oh, look, we're in the Ferrari again. Jesus. So I think there's someone supposed to be in front of me. I think. The grid looks a bit weird. Oh, no, it doesn't. No, what was I saying? Let's wait for the green man. There we go. Right, so who have we got? We've got Derek Jones in a Ferrari in the lead. Then we've got John Ellis in a Brabham. That means he's probably going to inherit the lead if he can keep up with Derek. He's in a Brabham. Then we've got Andy Neville in a Ferrari. Oh, this could be interesting. We've got Andy Straw in a Brabham. So that means he vaults the Ferrari. Maybe even both. There's me in a Ferrari. And then we've got Paul Villiers in a Cooper. So if he keeps up, he maybe vaults into about 3rd, 2nd place. I think that's all we got on the grid. Oh, that's all we got. That's all it's showing me. Okay. What camera do we want to go to? I'm going to have a look at Chase Cam, I think, for this. Reaction times. So there is someone beside me at the moment. Oh, I was feeling a bit too generous then. I didn't want to bone it into turn 1. But I do have to get past these 2 Brabhams and pull away if I've got any chance of being in the top 5. It's already getting a bit aggressive up front. So we're starting in 4th? No, that should be 5th, I think. I don't hold out much hope that this is going to stay clean for those few in front there. Looks like I'm taking it very easy with the gears. Very easy. Maybe I'm having flashbacks to when I blew him. I think I blew an engine at Nordschleife. Top 3. I'm already getting away. This bit's always scared me. Whoa, that was a bit much. Coincidentally, it's The Red House which is playing on my playlist at the moment. I mean, if that Cooper stays with me, he's vaulting me in the pit stops. So I'm just hoping I don't have any stupid spins in this race. But we had a good round at Silverstone, which means that we're probably going to have a bad round at Nordschleife. The season goes up and down, up and down. I mean, every time the Ferrari engine goes to that higher engine note, it makes me kind of cringe because it might mean that I'm stressing the engine. But what I like about there's obviously a difference in all the sims, and they're giving like different features and different. They all offer something a bit different, whether it be content or whether it be features of the sim. The first sim that has kind of an... Where's that Honda come from? Suddenly there's a Honda behind me. Of Mark Pickford. Automobilista 2 was the first sim that I know of that had really kind of delved into mechanical faults a bit. So you can have proper random failures of certain parts of your car. So I remember doing a race in... It was probably like the Formula Classics. So I'm reckoning Mark Pickford is going to obviously jump me in the pits because he's in a Honda. I was doing a race at Brands Hatch and I think what was like the 1960s, early 70s Formula Classic cars. And I remember getting a misfire, which just meant the car would kind of splutter a bit. And sometimes, as it happens, misfires do kind of sometimes correct themselves. And mine did. It kind of phased in and it phased out. But you know, as it comes to mind about like reliability and stuff, I'm really kind of fully aware now, watching the 70s and now 80s Formula 1, how unreliable cars became, because they were pushing the limits of what engines could do. And it wouldn't be uncommon to have just like 6 finishes or something. But you'd have like spectacular turbo failures and stuff like that. But there is something to be said about, because obviously we're racing a computer game, and it does feel a little bit harsh to have like a random, it's like a random number generator dictating whether you get a certain failure or not, depending on a certain engine's reliability. It feels a bit cruel. So it's like every few seconds you're spinning the wheel of chance in the hope that the engine survives, and it's not up to you. Whatever you do to the engine, whether you drive it properly or not. Now, I'd kind of agree with, if you're stressing out the engine and you're redlining everywhere, damn right you should probably get a failure. But I mean, the way engines should be built in some way is that they should have like weaker points, I suppose. Parts which are likely to fail, which in turn would you know, have certain kind of failures. So if you accidentally push the engine too hard, you might blow a valve or something. But it's I think in software or in games in general, it's kind of hard to take if the computer then decides that this is you're not going to finish this race because of, oh, that's a Ferrari that's had an off. Who's this? Anthony Neville has had a bit of an off there. Yom, yom. So, I mean, part of me thinks that obviously you need the option. That's a dynamic camera, isn't it? Seeing the speed. That Honda gained a lot on me. Coming up to the last few turns there. Obviously a bit tentative coming into that fast left-hander. So is that first, second, third, and fourth? No, that's that's second, third, fourth, and I am fifth, and that is sixth just behind me. I can't believe we are so close. So first lap is an 8. The leader is checked out. The leader did an 8:23 on their first lap. We are in the 8:40s. The leader is gone. But, well, I mean, he's got he's probably got like a 20-second lead. He can do his pit stop and still come out ahead of the others once they've done theirs. Because there's a Ferrari in the group in front, and there's a Brabham. Oh, 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 steady. Don't want to be making mistakes. I think it's going to be very hard to stay in the top 5 in this race. I think I've probably got a net 6th place out of all of this. Unless any of those Brabhams make mistakes, I'm pretty much screwed. Whatever you do, the camera always seems to be in the trees. Oh, I see some locked brakes. I don't know what my personal best in the Ferrari is for the Nürburgring. I think it's in the 830s. I'm definitely holding up, Mark. Oh, that was a car. That was a car. That is a Brabham in a tree. That's one down. So we may have a top 5 in this race. I did say something about whether the Brabhams would make mistakes. Oh, we're about to make our own. Whew. That Honda is gagging to get past. I mean, he's going to gain like 10 seconds on me in the pit stop or something stupid. Again, Automobilista 2 is the only sim that has made it. Oh, missed a gear there. Made a historic version of the Nordschleife officially. Well, I think that's lucky we got some oversteer there. Didn't fancy overtaking there, did he, Mark? Just as well, really. So they obviously got the layout of the Sudscliffe. And they have the 1970s version of the Nordschleife as well. I mean, it would be good if they had the 60s version of Nordschleife as well. I'm making so many oversteer mistakes. I'm having to really defend. I have a feeling that I'm going to get rear-ended in a minute. Because I don't look very comfortable on the brakes. Because I think one of the main reasons they said they wanted to make the Nordschleife in 1970 was obviously it was after the huge changes they made for safety. So they increased runoff, they put curbs, they had Armco. I mean, I'm looking forward to going back to Automobilista 2 when 1.6 comes out. It still doesn't... Well, it didn't in 1.5. It didn't feel that solid to me. Maybe I'm just used to the way that other sims drive. But there was always just something about it that just felt off. But I can't put my finger on what it was. I'm not a car physics expert. Oh, the Honda has spun. That gives me a little bit of breathing space. So it looks like I did an 8:43 on both laps. Oh no, I haven't finished my second lap yet. So it would be very disappointing if I do my pit stop and then have the Honda come out in front of me. But I mean, he's not drop back that much. So there's me. So 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds ish. But it's still not. I'm gonna come out behind him. I wish there was a way to look up what the pit stop times were, because he didn't list them in the rules. So. And I mean, AMS2 in general has all the historic content that I could ever want. Well, I always want more. And they have like non-fiction versions of all of the historic Grand Prix cars, only going back to the 60s. It would be nice if they did 50s and 30s and all that, but so if you wanted to, you could simulate certain seasons, as Ben Summers is. He's doing the 1984 season. Because you can create skins and car sets and stuff. Here we go, coming in for our pit stop. Right, so we're going to be going out at 18:29 on the clock, I believe, if we get our pit stop right. We don't want to screw this up. Stop revving your engine, you pillock. It was close. It was very, very close. Oh, what's going on here? Why is there a Cooper over here? What's going on? You spun it coming out of the pits. That was the person that I was going to be trying to get past. And he fucked it. Thank you very much. That gets rid of one of the Coopers to pass. So we're probably in a net 4th place. That's a lapped car, I believe. Unless the places haven't updated. So where are the Brabhams? Where is that Honda going to come out? I did a faster lap time of 8:37, but the leader is just obliterating us with an 8:20. So we've got Dave Wilkinson, who's apparently in 8th place. I don't know if that's right. And then we've got Mark Pickford. So, did he pit the same time as I did? He may have done. So we're chasing that Honda down to see if we can get, I think it's possibly 4th place. It says I'm 4th place at the moment, but I don't think that's right, because I don't think everyone's done their pit stops. Just don't screw it up, as I normally do at the Nordschleife. Telling myself 22 years later. So I believe this is going to be around October, November time, in 2002. So in 2002 I was 20. Oh, that helps me. There is a Honda that's had a bit of an off. That's the person I'm chasing. So this is for position now, I believe. So as I normally say, in 2002, I was 23 years old. Oh, that Honda is having an absolute nightmare. Hey! I'll have that. For once, I'm having some luck. So could this be a net 4th place? Because I mean, the Cooper span in front of me. The Cooper was already ahead. And would have been ahead of me because of pit stops. So I was probably hemorrhaging time with being chased. Either that or the Cooper, Paul Villiers in the Cooper was just faster in the Cooper. And then had to take less pit stop time. Now, there's also something to be said about how real do you want to be in sim racing? Because there's been certain sims that have kind of gone the esports route, where they haven't put kind of a hardcore simulation into it, but they've made it a platform in order to compete on. But I'm kind of on the opinion that, I mean, you can have hardcore sim elements as long as you can customize it. So you can turn things on and off to suit your preferences. But hardcore simulation for me only goes so far, because I think you can take it a little bit too far. Because I kind of theorized on the idea of what would it be like to have like the engineers aspect to sim racing, where you have to do all of the prep work. Oh, there's another Cooper. I think that is the lapped Cooper. Let's check. Was that the lapped Cooper? Yep, that's the lapped Cooper. It gave me an absolute fright. So taking into account like the engineers aspect of once the driver's finished doing his bit, the engines then need to be stripped. They then need to be maintained. And I mean, how far would you want to kind of go with if you could then kind of physically strip an engine down, take out worn parts, put in other worn parts, you know, it would then kind of become an RPG kind of thing. Because imagine if you had certain restrictions on an online championship or an offline championship, like the manager games, perhaps. You had to budget for certain things. So you had you had an economy basically. So if you had a crash in a race, you would have to swallow the cost of the damage that was done. Obviously, with kind of makes it a little bit difficult with the damage models with sim racing. They've not always been the greatest. You can get away with sometimes crashing into a wall at 150 miles an hour and coming away scot-free. And then other times you can nudge the wall and take your wings off, you know. But it would introduce like a separate bit of gameplay where maybe it would make you drive a little bit differently if you had to conserve the car and conserve money to a budget. It would maybe make the people a bit more irate if there were accidents in the race, because they were like, oh, I've got to pay for that now out of my virtual currency, you know. But again, that's going really hardcore. Whether or not that would just get repetitive after a time. If you had the engineers part of the game, where you had to rebuild your engine, kind of like the simulator games do, like Car Mechanic Simulator and stuff like that, where you can physically take an engine apart, nuts and bolts of it. But I mean, because it's so... I don't know, maybe being like... There would have to be some kind of random element to... If you were to tune the engine, perhaps... there would have to be like a... Not an obvious dice roll, but saying like, I want to spend money on tuning a certain part of the engine to make it better. I don't know, it would increase depth to... It wouldn't just be the races that you do. It would be all the behind the scenes stuff to have a successful season. But whether or not any sim racing company, dev team, has the budget to even do that, no is probably the answer. Who was that in the pits? That was Ellis. Why is he in the pits more than that? I shouldn't have passed John Ellis. He was ahead of me. Interesting. I wonder if he had an off. That lap was a 9:02. Still says I'm in 4th place. I should be in 3rd now. I've passed John Ellis. I don't know why I have passed John Ellis, because I'm thinking maybe he had an accident which brought me closer to him, so that I vaulted him in the pit stops. But again, I don't... comparing the pit stops, I need to stop for 20 seconds. A Brabham probably needs to stop for 15 seconds, 17 seconds, something like that. So this is lap 4 of 5, so it's the penultimate lap. Ooh! Just don't bone it up the grass banks this time. I have a really bad habit of doing that. Even though I can't change the result of this race because it was 22 years ago. I mean, maybe because I did like rounds 1, 2, and 3, and then I had a break from a race at round 4. I'm maybe thinking, did I have such a bad round in round 3 that I took a race break just to kind of, get some practice in, or maybe there was kind of like real life reasons why I didn't take part in round 4. Maybe I was out of town, I don't know. It's very hard to tell. So I'm thinking as well, because this is around 2002. I know a little bit about what was happening in my personal life, which I'm not going to get into. So I know there may have been personal reasons why I didn't take part in round 4. ...2002 wasn't a good year. I think... I don't know whether... Because we're in, I think, October, November in this race. I don't know if we get all the complete all the races done by the end of the year. I seem to remember it being 2002 and not 2002 to 2003. Because it would seem a bit strange that you do all of the races and then you do one round in 2003. But don't know. But also, thinking about it, if this is... Well, no, it wouldn't be the time that Goodwood was on. Because that might be another reason why I might have not done a race that was technically on a Sunday. But I think these are October, November. I think the Goodwood Festival of Speed was in September-ish at a time. I'm just trying to visualise the ticket. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I can't remember. We're having a pretty solid drive. We're going to have two solid drives in a row, which is unheard of. So maybe that break was a... Well, I mean, after I got an absolute slapping from the moderator in round 3 for my driving exploits, which wasn't great, maybe I did kind of say to myself, right, I really need to calm it down a bit, use my brain. But I'm noticing in some of these rounds that I'm not making like frivolous mistakes, which is good. Or is that the kiss of death? Am I suddenly going to make a frivolous mistake now? Oh, there's a car ahead. Is that a Ferrari? That is Andy Neville. That's a Ferrari. That is second place. And I'm technically third at the moment, I think. So he did his pit stop the same time as me. Well, I mean the same amount of time as me, because he's in a Ferrari. But he was ahead before, so let's have a look at it. So I'm in the 8:37s at my best. His best lap time's in the 8:29, so even at my best, I'm not really going to catch him. So. But going back to how hardcore you want your sim to go, I mean, there's a lot of talk of there still being single player games are still a thing. People still want single player games, and whenever a new sim comes out, I hear like talk of people saying, "Oh, I want a career mode. Give me a career mode." So it's still something that people want, whether or not someone is willing to take the risk to build up that part of single player. Oh, blown engine. I don't think I've had a Nordschleife race where I haven't blown the engine. We will have to see. So we're coming through the final chicanes. So John Ellis is just coming up the back straight there. We may get away with the stop and go. We may get away with the stop and go and staying in third. I'm looking in the mirrors for a Brabham, and I'm something has kind of sprung into my head about the memories of this race. I'm wondering, because this is now the last lap, and I remember the name John Ellis. I'm not gonna spoil what I think is gonna happen. But if I'm correct, then things get a bit close. Because obviously now that I've reset the car, I'm now on 5 laps of fuel in the tank with only 1 lap to do, so my car is really heavy. It does look like I'm being very careful with my shifting though. Shifting at 10,000. I don't see a Brabham in my mirrors at the moment. So maybe I'm thinking of a different race. Maybe I'm thinking of a different race. We'll see if we can pick him up on the TV cam. Not hearing a Brabham either. This race still might have a sting in the tail. It still might not be a podium. My long camera shot. No Brabham. But considering I think I started in 4th, this is a good result. I think it was 4th anyway. Got to be very careful with my timing here, because I'm going to be streaming some Super Formula at 5:30. Think I've got enough time for the last 2 races? I think. I was hoping to see a Brabham. Oh, that's... Alright. No Brabham. One thing that... Again, I'm banging on about what Sims should have, but they're probably never going to have. The... Racing in general... and this is obviously a technological limitation and like an added bonus limitation that hasn't been put a lot of effort into. It's something that maybe people have wanted but never had. Motorsport in general, particularly back in 60s and 70s, it was never like clean, if you saw what I mean. Everything, you know, engines are oily, engines are dirty, things accumulate dirt, and mud and oil. Still not seeing a Brabham. And I mean, it is being a little bit fixed at the moment by... Oh, we may see the Brabham on this camera angle. Coming into the second part of the circuit. There he is. There he is. So cars should accumulate dirt. They should be dirty. I was holding my breath there, thinking, my car hasn't arrived. Where is that? But it's something that's not been a thing. So Sims have always showed cars as these bright, shiny things with no... I mean, there has been kind of attempts to have like crash damage and dents and chipped paint and stuff like that, but not to an extreme affair. But obviously Le Mans Ultimate is kind of putting a little bit of effort into making a car dirty, because when that first came out, that was kind of like one of the big requests was, does my car get dirty if I'm going to do a 6-hour race? Does it become dirty? And it seems such a small detail, but it just adds to kind of like the immersion of it. It's like you earn the dirt, you know? If I'm going to run for 6 hours, I want my car to become dirty. So, oh, there he is. There's the Brabham just there. That's a tree. That's a tree. That's a tree. That's a tree. There we go. So, is he getting closer? He's now actually in sound range. Right, so this is the final part. Coming up to the main straight. He's just on the edge of camera range. Maybe this isn't the race that I'm thinking of. So there's me. There's a Brabham. He has got a little bit closer. Now, is this going to be what I think it's going to be? Look how close he is now. No, it's not. No. So I am going to come away with third. Yeah! That was a pretty solid drive. A pretty solid drive. So who's that? That's Derek Jones doing donuts. I decide to do my own version of donuts. I never really got the donuts right. I'm not very good at donuts. God, how close was he? I seem to be only smoking one tyre as well. Let's all join in. Donuts for everyone. I think after a race like that, it's just like, I survived. And I don't think I'm going to feature in the moderator's report this time, so I don't think there was anything significant that went wrong. I mean, I'm probably going to find out now that I'm going to get demoted because I did a pit stop mistake or something. But there you go. There you go. It looks like we got a third place, at least for now. Until I read the moderator's report. Do I get the book thrown at me for some reason? I do not know. So, we'll take a break after this race, but we're going to look at the results. So, Nordschleife, Derek Jones gets first. He did the fastest lap time in qualifying of an 8:14. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to beat that. So I'm staying in third. So I started fifth. So that's good. It says that I am. It looks like 2.4 seconds behind at the finish. So it was a bit close. So I'm reckoning that John Ellis must have had an accident because I shouldn't have got third. So let's see. I've been through the whole race replay and didn't see a single incident considering worthy of even a second look. I did see a great deal of good close racing though, even with the usual smaller Nürburgring field. We only had would have been 12 drivers, but we had one do not start and we had someone that didn't even turn a lap. So Dave Wilkinson and Andrew Cook did everything short of sharing bodily fluids for much of the race. And Mark Pickford spent most of the time surgically attached to the rear of one car or another without hitting any of them. Congratulations to Derek Jones on a very good drive. He won going away. I don't get that. A last lap shift R forced a stop go just before the line, and that reduced his advantage to a mere 42 seconds. Andy Neville had a similar advantage in second, but after that, it got closer with Neil Wood just scraping third from Dave Wilkinson. Sorry? No. Scraping third from John Ellis. Not Dave Wilkinson. I think you got it a bit wrong there, Paul. I think you got it a bit wrong. I don't know if I can get them to change that in the results. But there we go. There we go. Okie dokie. Why is that? There we go. Don't want no flickering. Okay, we are 2 rounds down, 2 rounds to go. I have my Dr. Pepper. Yummy! So, we are on to... so we did round 6 at Nordschleife. Now we're doing round 7. And then I missed one round to do Snetterton. Now, I've got 2 hours to do these races. I'm unsure how much part I take in the Snetterton race because that's a server replay. So it may suggest that I didn't complete it. So, Mossport races. Generally, I did okay at Mossport because I seemed to suit the flow of it. So let's see. Right. So it looks like I'm in 4th. I don't know where the flag man is. I'm guessing maybe he's not there on this modded version, but... So, John Ellis in a Brabham in 1st. That means he's going to beat me through the pit stops. Derek Jones in a Ferrari, same strategy as him. Andy Neville in an Eagle, so I'm going to beat him through the pit stops. I'm in 4th. And then we've got Mark Pickford in a Honda, so he's going to jump at least 3 of us if he stays close to this group. Do I have something that can block that layout? Ow, there we go. Can I view who's behind me? No, I can't because of Grand Prix Legends things. So, 4th place. Do I go forwards or do I go backwards? Let's see. Let's see. I think the last time we were at Mosport, we had a bit of a nightmare. We would have won it if it wasn't for incidents and stuff. That's a good start. Not as good a start as the Eagle though, although he got a bit of wheel spin. I didn't feel confident enough to go up the inside. So I've got a Honda snapping at my heels at the moment. Oh, I'm going to go for it. But that was a little close. So, was I entitled to space, do you think? I was coming from quite far back. I had locked up. The gap is closing by the time I got there. So maybe I wasn't entitled to that space. And he was taking his line no matter what. So that was avoidance. So that was opportunistic, but just not enough space. Bit ambitious right at the start. Maybe I'm thinking I just don't want to be behind the Eagle because I want to catch up to the 2 in front because they're getting away. So how close is the... Oh, it's now not a Honda behind me, so... But that is a Cooper behind me. It's going to beat me out the pit stops. So, game on! You saying that I'm not feisty now? I may have gone for that move today. I may not have. I don't know. Maybe I would have been a bit more sensible and kept in line and waited till turn 3. Because I had a run, but it probably would have been better just to stay close. But remember, taking into account what the moderator said last time out was, how stupid of you to stay behind another car through turn 2. You were too close to the car in front. Yeah? I need you to be close to pass. But there you go. I'm not salty much. So, first lap out. The leader has done a 126.9. I've done a 129.2. So that first lap wasn't kind to me. I think the camera is far too close to the car on this track. It doesn't give you a good idea of what's going on. It does look like that Eagle is is going away. Although, fastest lap time 1:24.3. I've done a 1:25.2, so I've closed up the gap. The leader's still pulling away, but not as fast as he was. So I can still see what would be first and second there. Hang on a minute. Why am I third? We're missing someone. Someone's disconnected. Because I shouldn't be third, should I? I should be fourth. So that's Andy Neville in second. And that's Derek Jones in first. Wasn't there supposed to be someone else? Or have I... I'm sure there was someone else. Yeah, there was a Brabham, wasn't there? It was John Ellis. Where's John Ellis gone? I don't remember seeing a Brabham by the side of the road, but then again, I probably missed it because the camera was so close. But we're pulling away from the car behind. Now, Andy Neville in front of us has done a 1:23.5. I've done a 1:24.5. So the lap times are getting faster, but I'm always 1 second adrift. So it looks like third is the thing. I'm thinking that obviously Andy Neville needs to make a bigger pit stop than I do, doesn't he? So can I stay close enough? Oh, it looks like, is that a Cooper or is that a Brabham behind me? That's a Cooper of Dave Wilkinson behind me. I am losing sight of Andy Neville. Or Anthony Neville, I forget. He's going out of picture now. Fastest lap time down to a 1:22.6. Ow! Whereas I'm still stuck in the 1:24s. Lap 5 of 27. I think I'm probably dropping that Cooper behind, but again, that Cooper may come into play later because he's going to have to do probably 10 seconds less in the pits than me, and he is only like 3 seconds or so behind. So the top 3 isn't concluded yet. Because Dave Wilkinson could poke his nose in the Cooper. Andy Neville's going to drop back. So it might just be that Andy Neville goes behind me and Dave Wilkinson goes in front and I stay in third. I can't imagine the pit entry is very nice on this track though. It did seem to have a good bit, add a good bit of strategy though, didn't it? But I don't. I think the token system did come back. It did note the tokens down when I was in the Division 5 seasons, but I don't know if they ever applied because people were using like 70 tokens and didn't seem to be like penalised for it. There was someone that used a Lotus every single round, so. I can still see that Cooper just on the edge of the mirror distance. But that Eagle was checked out. I cannot see him now. I'm now down to the 123.7. So I'm still within 1 second of the fastest lap. So the leader's still pulling out a second every lap. Unfortunately, this R.I.P. Manfred Winkelhock. Unfortunately, that's where he had his fatal accident at Mossport. I mean, at this point, sports car racing was more dangerous than Formula One in the 1980s. Which is surprising, considering how many risks that Formula One was taking. They tidied up their safety protocols of the starts and stuff like that. It seemed to be that sometimes they were a bit more... They were reactive more than proactive about safety concerns. It was only when accidents happened, they were like, oh, maybe we should tighten that up then. It was never really preventative safety measures. Because the pits are still full of people. And it took until 1994 when people realised maybe we shouldn't have every person in the pits plus their dog. I mean, I imagine that they did reduce the personnel in the pits coming up to 1994. And I think the person that did get hit in the pits in 1994 was a camera operator, I think. And they're still around in the pits today, so that was just unfortunate. But so much less people in the pits than what I saw in the first few races in 1985. It makes you kind of shudder thinking about what could have happened. And we came close though, didn't we? In Baku. Was it this year or last year? When on the last lap they decided, oh, let's get the podium celebration things underway a lap before, and Esteban Ocon was coming into the pits on the last lap, and they were like, what are all these people doing standing in the pit lane? When you got this car hurtling towards you at 100 kph. But again, it was like even today, complacency sometimes is the worst. You know, is the cause of some of these things. It's like, oh, it'll be fine. No one has pitted on the last lap before. I mean, the race is still going on. Then, let's wander about the pit lane. I'm sure I'll see a car in time. So I still think there is part of that. And I mean, is Jackie Stewart still involved in the safety of Formula One? I don't think he's really... That was a bit of a lock-up. I don't think he's really got his finger in the pie now. And I mean, the things that they're talking about, like the Grand Prix Drivers Association getting ignored about kind of recent events to do with how drivers are being treated and stuff. modern Formula One management thinks they're kind of like... I mean, haven't they learned anything from the past? The reason that bad things happened in Formula One when there was like that split between FICA and FOCA, it was when the drivers didn't feel like they were being listened to, and the management thought, I know what's best for them, without talking to them. So we've been here before, and history is repeating itself. And I mean, I would imagine that the spectators would possibly be on the driver's side in this case. So if there was a disagreement that they were having with the FIA, because they're such personalities, celebrities, I suppose, then the outcry from the paying public in this case would be quite happy to take the driver's side, and because the FIA is always looked at as being a bit too heavy-handed anyway. What's that saying though? If you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. That kind of thing. I think it isn't like the GPDA. Isn't that kind of like the equivalent of joining a union? And we all know big corporations hate unions. We don't like our workers standing up and talking to us, telling us how we should do our job. Oh no. But there needs to be a dialogue, at least. Otherwise, they can pretty much say, well, we're not driving. Oh, here we go, pit stops. Right, stop revving your engine, you tit. Why are you doing that? I was just rewinding it because I want to see the clock. So I stopped at about, let's say, 22. So going out at 16:42. There goes the Cooper, and he's going to leave before me. I'm going to get passed by someone else as well. Yeah, I made extra sure. So he's not gone out far. So I've been passed by Dave Allen, and I've been passed by Dave Wilkinson. So in theory, Dave Allen has still got to pit. But I'm chasing Dave Wilkinson down in the Cooper to get my podium back. So I'm doing 123s. Dave Allen is doing 124s and 25s. So it's going to be close with him. I mean, I wonder if we're going to see the eagle of Andy Neville come back to us. We did have a really slow pit exit as well. There's Dave Allen going into pits. So he hadn't pitted. It was like we couldn't get the car moving. I think I came into the pits and forgot what gear I was in. Alright, the chase down for 4th place. Or in this place, 3rd place, I think. So I'm wondering whether Anthony Neville, maybe he's behind me already. There's Baz West. You know Baz West. That's the first time I've seen him racing. At least in this series of races anyway. I don't think he was in the races we've had so far. Haven't seen his name in the standings. Right, is there anyone in the pits this lap? I want to know whether I'm going to overtake an Eagle. I don't see anybody. Maybe the Eagle was so far ahead that he's come out in front. Oh, no, no. Oh, that was close. We didn't quite do. You'll be racing with him later on. Well, tell him that I saw him. And tell him that I finished ahead of him in 2002. Right, Dave Wilkinson's making a few mistakes. Oh, he looks like he's lagging a bit. I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm going to have to adjust my LED because it's flickering. Now, we all know that Mossport is hard to get past on, don't we? Oh, look, there's a Ferrari. Who is that? Someone made a mistake. That's Derek Jones. That's the leader. He must have pitted and he must have made a mistake. Because why is he back here? Because he was miles in front. I should be burying the throttle at the exit of turn 2. Oh God, look at the lag. Look at this defensive driving by having lag. I mean, nowadays you would look at that and go, you should exit. That lag is not acceptable. But back in the day, it was like, that's a Tuesday. But connections, people don't realise how good they've got it with netcode and stuff like nowadays. Because not only do you have the hazard of trying to drive the cars and master the circuits, you've got to kind of anticipate cars that are doing this. So we're still keeping up a good pace. It's 123-ish. But we're going to have to take a little bit of a chance with this laggy... Oh, this laggy car! God damn it! So I'm guessing we're possibly trying to push him into a mistake so he goes off rather than him making a collision with me. Because this is... Oh, I'd hate to be racing someone like this nowadays. It says I'm in 5th place. So either the Andy Neville hasn't pitted, or he's got out in front of me. He pulled so far ahead. My lap 16 of 27. Where am I going to pass him? He is... That is bad. But I'd imagine that if he's like this in front of me, then what he sees in the mirror is probably me moving about. So... Oh, there's a mistake. I'm pushing. But this is slowing me down. I'm now down to 125. I should be in the 123s. I wonder if there's going to be a moderator note. Sort your connection out, mate. Because this is hard to race against. It's hard to know where he is at any point in time. There's a lot to be said about what netcode does nowadays with prediction and stuff like that. Because, I mean, maybe the connections are like this, but there's a certain amount of smoothing and prediction that goes on, which makes cars look like they're not doing this. No, I still didn't feel like going up the inside there. I look desperate. Make a mistake, Dave. Come on. Make it easy. I'm now up to third again, so Andy Neville has pitted. So there's going to be an eagle following me in a minute. I don't want to switch away from this though. Do I take a chance? No, I don't. Oh, no, 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 oh. It was going to be one or the other, wasn't it? It was going to be one or the other. That was avoidance, wasn't it? So I was coming over the hill. So I landed. So proper gear changes and everything. So I think closing speed, I got a bit kind of worried because I thought I was going to rear end him. Suddenly the car kind of came towards me a bit slower than I thought. So maybe he got it all crossed up and I had to kind of respond. But I thought I had it. I thought I was just a bit slow on my opposite lock. I just didn't quite. So Baz West's going to pass me. Maybe don't say that to... Oh no, Baz is coming to pits. So you can say it to Baz. So Dave Allen is behind me again. But that's disappointing. I mean, if I get third, though, still pretty good. But the fact it was an accident because of such a laggy car in front. I mean, I plan out my mind punts. It's one of my. It's so satisfying when you can make someone make their own mistakes, and you can just go, oh, bye bye. Right, we've got to put the laps in now. Get back up to what I think will be second place. But again, this seems like a very solid race. I'm seeing an improvement. Not in my car control, but I'm seeing an improvement in just the way that I'm handling some of the situations, I think. Whereas before, I might have been a bit too kind of eager. It looks like I'm maybe doing a bit more thinking behind the wheel. I don't know. I'm not too sure. So if I'm coming around the hill now. So coming down into the bend. So he's just coming up the top. He's still lagging away there. So I've got a little bit to catch up, but I'm back down to. I put my fastest lap in that time around. So now that I'm not faced with a laggy car, I can put the laps in, but. Let's just hope I don't blow the engine. So I'm coming through turn 1. He's just coming up to turn 2. I came into that corner a bit wrong. It always feels so useless if you get the entry wrong to turn 2. And then just touching a rear wheel on the grass, and you're just like, no. Right, we're getting faster. 23.1. We're putting in our best laps of the race. Yeah, driving like an absolute madman. Maybe pushing a little too much. So can I see him yet? That's the thing. So he's doing 124 mid. I'm doing 123 low. Oh, there he is. Am I going to run out of laps? So this is starting lap 22 of 27. So I assume that I'm going to be up his rear end in about 2 or 3 laps. Just hoping I don't make a mistake. I mean, I don't know what the championship situation is, because obviously I don't want to spoil myself on what what my final results are, because obviously I'm going to miss 2 rounds, which is quite a decent points haul that I won't be getting. So that's a big hit in the championship, and I've had some good results this season. Let's just erase Monaco. Although you could maybe class Zandvoort as being a a no score because of a disconnection from the lead. Gutted. Gutted. That was a dominant win. That just went away from me. But I definitely think from some of the recent results, it looks like Derek Jones is probably leading by now, I would have thought. Yes! 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 Karma! That's it. Now, don't do what you usually do. Don't do what you usually do and bone it off the race on your own because you're so pleased. But we've got one. We've won one race this season. We've I think we've been on the podium once, and this could be another podium. So it's quite a squong. It's quite a strong season in terms of race results. But again, we want to raise Monaco off the face of the earth for reasons. But second place. But lap 24:27. It's not over yet. I'm not seeing anyone in the mirror either. But that was kind of like maybe it was the result that I needed to kind of kick my season, or kick me in the butt, basically, to kind of say, well, maybe I should, brush up a little. Not be so erratic. But maybe it was like I really needed a really, really bad result to kickstart some better. That's the story I'm leading with anyway. I mean, this is another one of these races where I don't think I'm going to feature in the moderator's report. There's been nothing. I haven't done anything wrong. Nothing has happened to me specifically. There may be some warnings in there for Dave Wilkinson to sort his connection out. But I do wonder whether, that you can obviously use the GPL analyzer or the replay analyzer to merge replays. Oh, someone's gone off. Don't know who that was. So it sounded like someone was recovering there. Oh! That's Paul Villiers. So the leader, Derek Jones, is coming out of turn 3 there, and I'm just coming into turn 2. So this is the penultimate lap. I was saying something, but I can't remember what it was. I distracted myself. Yep, it's gone out of my brain what I was thinking I was going to say. Don't Throw it away now, Neil. So I wonder where Andy Neville went to. Did he... There's Wilkinson. There's Paul Villiers. There's Baz. There's Andy Neville. It's just coming into the... So he dropped back quite far. Whether it due to... I mean, I would have only lost... He was quite far ahead of me. And I would have gained probably 5 seconds, 7 seconds on him. But that's not 5 to 7 seconds, so he must have had an accident. Oh yeah, I remember now. So if you can merge replays together, imagine if you could, like, merge the server replay with the player replay, so you could maybe have my lap, and then you could have Dave Wilkinson's lap from the server, what the server saw, and then what I saw. Well, no, it wouldn't work like that, would it? Because the server would probably see it the same. He would be moving all over the place. But if you had like 2 player replays, so you could say, right, have my replay, my player replay, and Dave Wilkinson's player replay, and have those 2 merged together, and then you would have Dave Wilkinson's from my point of view, so you could see how what he saw on his screen was different to what I saw. Hooray! Second place. I don't think... Oh! Oh! Well, you got no force feedback, so you're not going to rip people's arms off, I suppose. I mean, I'd still, from the result of, or looking at the end of the Nordschleife race, I haven't got the hang of donuts. I cannot do donuts. So, right, okay. I think this is probably going to be a very short review of the moderator's report, because I can't think that there's much to look at. Alright, so Mossport, Derek Jones started second, ended up first. I started fourth, ended up second. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Andy Neville came back in 6th. He was second. Moderator's report. Oh, there we go. So Andretti straight, Dave Allen, Andy Neville, and Paul Villiers. It looks like that's an essay. I don't really feel like reading that. So they had an accident or something. Okay. Right. We've got an hour and a half. So we're going to look at the final race. This is the final race of the season, according to my calculations. So this is Snetterton. I think this will be the first like add-on track that I did in a season. But it fills me with suspicion that this is like a server replay. So did I disconnect? Did I have an accident? I don't know. I'm not too sure. Okie doke. But we're gonna be doing the Formula Renault. I'm gonna switch over to the Super Formula Renault at 5:30. Because that's when I'm gonna start my commentary. Hopefully, I've done everything that I need to do for it. Right, am I on the grid yet? Look at the grid. So we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6th. So on the front row, we've got Derek Jones and Andy Neville. And then we've got T. Simpson. I haven't seen T. Simpson for a little while in the Lotus. And then we've got... Oh, so it must go... Yeah, so Derek Jones must be on pole. Andy Neville in the Eagle in second. And then we've got T. Simpson in the Lotus in third. And then we've got John Ellis in the Brabham in fourth. Fifth, we've got Dave Wilkinson in the Cooper. Sixth, we've got me in the Ferrari. So... The Brabham's going to stay ahead. The Cooper's going to jump a couple. The Lotus and the Eagle may drop back. Paul Villiers in the Cooper behind me, so he may leapfrog me in the pit stops if he stays close. Same with Mark Pickford in the Honda. And then we've got Dave Allen in the Honda near the back. So let's see how long I actually am in this race, because... I have a feeling there's going to be carnage at the start. Quite a good start, although the top four got a way better one than I did. I bogged down quite significantly. So there goes Tony Simpson. What actually happened? I think I got a tank slapper on. So I was possibly I got a bit of a tank slapper from watching Tony in front, which drove me into Dave Wilkinson. And then I got rear-ended by Mark behind. And then I got a spin around. So not a good start. Not a good start. So starting 5th, we're probably down to 8th now. It looks like we're at the back. So who knows what's going to happen in this one? Now, obviously, this is the 67 version of Snetterton, so it's all straights and a couple of corners. So we've got a hairpin. I've not actually seen this version of Snetterton for quite some time, so... Oh, I'm having a nightmare. I'm having a nightmare. Last race of the season and I'm having a nightmare. I hope to go out with a bang, but this is not the bang that I was envisioning. We've got 24 laps of this, and I am plumb last. 9th place. And not having a good time. I mean, we were due a dip though, weren't we? Because in fact we had a good round at Silverstone. We had a good round at Nordschleife. We had a good round at Mossport. So we were due a bit of a dip. So I think it's probably going to get ruled a racing incident. I think. Because I just got a right old tank slapper on and I couldn't avoid Dave. I mean, isn't it Snetterton that has a corner called the bomb hole? Something like that. So this is so there's no final chicane for Snetterton. They tighten that up in later years. Right, so that is what ahead of me? Oh, we've gone wide again. Round we go. This is depressing. I can just see my post-race report. I mean, it's kind of reminiscent of Silverstone, but with probably a few more corners that are harder braking zone. Oh, there's a car that's possibly Dave Wilkinson. That is Dave Wilkinson. No naughty jokes, please. It's bomb hole. I mean, there was like I think like a couple of R-Factor versions of Snetterton, but for some reason they always crashed on me. I mean, it'd be really nice to maybe kind of refurbish some of these 1967 auxiliary circuits, you know, because Goodwood's already got like a proper kind of remastering. There's kind of there's the 80s version of Brands Hatch. There is a 50s version of Brands Hatch, but I don't think it's I don't think the dimensions are correct for it, because they used to run anti-clockwise at Brands Hatch, which seems strange when you think about it. So even though I've passed Dave Wilkinson in the Cooper there, he's going to pass me through the pit stops. So I'm going to lose my 8th place. I'm just trying to think of other tracks that would kind of could do with like the vintage revamp. And obviously we in our GT Revival series, we did a round at Alton Park 1960s, which was a little bumpier than I think that it physically is. It could probably do with a bit of smoothing here and there. And I don't think it was possibly that abrupt in elevation change back then. I'm just trying to think of some of the other club circuits that could do with like a 60s revamp. So particularly, so we've got Snetterton, which is this one, Alton Park, Donington. I mean, the only kind of vintage Donington Park is the 1930s version. I don't know what Donington Park was like in the 60s. It might be worth looking up what Donington was like if someone has made it. What other ones have we got? Cadwell Park. That's a motorcycle circuit as far as I'm concerned. What's the other ones? Croft. What was Croft like in the 60s? I'm basically trying to think of what they run in the BTCC. Knock Hill. I don't think Knock Hill changed. I'd imagine there was less runoff at Knock Hill. Because I know what would kind of be cool is you've got all of this wealth of all of these tracks that were built in Grand Prix Legends that were always like the 60s version. People generally didn't build the modern versions of tracks, they always kind of kept them in period. But there was obviously limitations back then of what you could do with the elevations of things, so you can sometimes notice when someone's made a track from that era or converted it from Grand Prix Legends, because all of the elevations will be very sudden. Because that's it. You didn't have like there was no kind of gradual change for elevation. So particularly there's a 1980s version of Zandvoort that I've tried, and you can see where one join is, because the joins would be like this rather than like that. So there's no kind of like averaging out. Now it is obviously possible to smooth some of these circuits out by you could all of the lines on the polygons that go forwards, you could get copies of all of those splines, and then possibly adjust each part of the splines as separate objects, just to smooth out the gradients a little, and then pull up the polygons to the splines. That's a possibility. But I was saying that obviously taking a track like club tracks like this that were based in the 60s and doing what some people have done with some of the older tracks like Dundrod and Isle of Man, is kind of keeping the layout, because you've got someone that's done all the hard work of putting all the trackside objects in and the track surface and the infield and outfield, but just kind of refreshing it. Replacing objects where you need to match kind of current standards, like trackside marshals and trees and stuff like that, because they're way too low poly for up to date. So just making like objects have a bit more. Oh, there's a yellow flag. Another yellow flag. Oh, someone's had a no. Someone's had an off. Is that a Honda ahead of me? That is. We're up to 7th, so we've passed someone through the pits, I think. 8 of 24. So just replacing like at least just trackside objects of that are kind of more up to date versions. Everything back then, when people were building tracks, everything was very flat. So giving objects some thickness is always a good idea. I've got a Honda outside of me at the moment. He's still there. I can give him some space. I think that might be Mark Pickford. It is. But again, he's going to pass me through the pit stops. This is a bit of a battle, isn't it? I'm up to 7th place, but I think I have passed someone through the pit stops. I think that turn 1 is particularly the bogey corner, because it's touching a wheel on it. I mean, this section is very reminiscent of turns 1 and 2 at Silverstone. So I'm up to 6th now, so I've passed another person in the pits. So we've got Mark Pickford behind us. And we've got Paul Villiers in a Cooper in front of us, who's going to stay in front of us because he's in a Cooper. because we're going to be doing a 20-second pit stop. Now, we're on lap 9, so I'm wondering whether we're going to pit soon. I think there probably was a pit window. Oh, dearie me. What in the hell? Did I just forget that corner existed? What the hell did I do? I think I just missed my braking point. Yeah, completely missed my braking point. Completely missed my braking point. All of those places gained, lost. Well, I mean, it's not as bad as Monaco, but it's not good, is it? But I was lucky to get away with... And you spin coming in the pits as well. I'm trapped in the barrier. Can't pit this lap. I jinxed it, didn't I? We're down to 8th. There's only 9 runners. So here's the thing. I need to do a pit stop for 20 seconds. And I need to do a stop and go. So do I have to come in the pits twice? Well, I mean, what if I come into the pits, do 20 seconds, and then start, and then stop? I don't know. I don't know. Again, I've gone up a place. I'm 7th. Whether that's through pit stops or disconnections, I'm not too sure. But it's not gone well. I think the only add-on race, or the only add-on track race I've done up until this point is the Solitude race, I think. And I think I managed to get a podium with that. Oh, a yellow flag. The yellow flag still is out. That is a Honda that's had a bit of an oopsie. The Honda is coming into the pits. So am I. A Lotus is just missing my rear end. So that Honda is going to come out ahead of me. See how long he had to stay in the pits? Not long at all, unless that was a stop and go. So this is my pit stop. I'm just looking at the... See if there's a car coming at all. And out I come. I'm thinking I've got to come back into the pits for the next lap to a stop and go. But I'm basically down to 8th place. I'm probably not going to gain any places. Possibility of losing one. It's been an absolute Snetterton nightmare. But I remember way back when, obviously, Grand Prix Legends captured the imagination of a lot of people, and the modding scene really took off. It was like nothing that anyone had ever seen before, and the ability to make tracks and cars just expanded the appeal of it. A 60s car game with 60s tracks was just like, oh, this. We've never done anything like this. Right, here we go. Coming into pits for a stop and go. So that's probably the leader there. There's my stop and go. Is that the leader? That is the leader, I think. Yes, it is. So we nearly got lapped. We nearly got lapped. Not quite, but we nearly did. So we managed to keep our 8th place. Shocker. 8th place out of, I think, 9. It was a pity that... I don't know what the moderator's going to say about the start line incident. I think he's maybe going to rule it as a racing incident. But as I was saying, the back then there were kind of groups, and I suppose it did get kind of revitalized with R Factor as well. There were groups that kind of concentrated on a certain era of cars or tracks or whatever. So back in the Grumpy Legends days, you had an organisation that was called GPLEA, which I think was the Grand Prix, the Grumpy Legends. Oh God, what was it? EA. Something association. I don't know what. But is that Mark? It is Mark Pickford. So he's done his pit stop now. So we may even have the opportunity to pass someone. This is shocking. So let's see. We've got a battle on our hands for 7th place. So we're trying to put him off in the mirrors. I might kind of prefer this layout of this chicane. I hate the modern version. It's too tight. I mean, I actually prefer this layout of Snetterton. It's got a lot more flow to it rather than the modern version, which has all those stupid chicanes. So it looks like we're on lap 14 of 24. We've got 10 laps to do something about this Honda ahead. Oh, he sucked us in to going a bit wide. Target fixation is the thing. He's gone a bit wide. He's going to be slow onto the straight. That's a bit too wide. Oh, keep it together. We're braking just as that tarmac colour changed. Oh, he's gone wide at the hairpin. We're going to gain a little bit back on him. I mean, maybe I get flagged for my spin just under the bridge where I span and caused other accidents. Maybe I'll get a smack for that, but I mean, we seem to be trading good corners, bad corners. Lap 15 of 24. He's gone wide again, and he's sucked me in again. It's sometimes very hard to get to not get target fixated. It's very hard to sometimes drive the track rather than the car. And I think I'm gonna have to talk to my neighbours across the way to adjust their floodlights. because they got floodlights which are motion censored floodlights, but they're pointing towards my flat and not downwards to what they're supposed to be lighting. And it's getting a bit annoying because they are very, very bright. So when the weather's a bit better, I might go over and ask. I hate to be that person. Get off my lawn! Man shouts at clouds, you know. But I think it's only right that they probably don't know that it's a problem until someone actually tells them about it. So we've caught back up to Mark. So after the shit show that was at the start of this race, we may even have, if I don't ruin it by either colliding with him or falling off the track. Turn 1 seems to be really deceptive. I seem to be wanting to take so much speed in and then forgetting that it's tighter than it actually is. So I've got a little bit of a speed edge. Oh, we're gonna try and put him off into the hairpin. Has he braked too late? Oh, he has. It worked. It worked. We put the pressure on. We put the pressure on, and it worked. Now, don't ruin it by falling off the track. I mean, it's only 7th place, but but still. So we're 2/3 of the way through the race now. So I'm in 7th place. So this is the final corner. So 6th place is at the back straight. They are miles away. I've got no hope of catching them. At all. So, 7th place. Salvage something out of it. Kind of. Maybe. Or at least I made a battle of it. It looked like I was braking too late then. No, got it stopped. Got it stopped. Took too much curb though. But I think I've been kind of convinced that even if you took a track like this with its low polygon count, swings in roundabouts, doesn't it? So that means we've got to go do another stop and go. And I'm going to lose this place that I worked so hard to gain. For God's sake. Oh, no. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be gaining that place back. That sucks. I'm about to be lapped. So that's, I think, Andy Neville there, who's in 2nd. And then we've got Derek Jones that's in 3rd. So I'm about to be lapped by 3rd place. So the experiment I wanted to try was the fact that you can take a track like this, which is low in polygon count and low in texture resolution, but could you port it over to something like R Factor 2 and see what happens when you just increase the texture resolution? of everything. It would still be kind of flat in places, which is easy to find when you're in VR. Because things become more visible in their flatness when you're in VR. So hopefully I'm not holding up Derek Jones here too much. I mean, I've still got a fight on my hands for trying to catch up to Mark Pickford, but I don't think I'm holding up for that long. So lap 19 of 24. So I've just come out of turn 1. Where's Mark Pickford? Pickford's just coming out of 2, I think. Yeah, he's just coming out of 2. So got 5 laps to catch the Honda. I don't think it's happening. Unless he makes a mistake or gets caught up in the lapping cars. I've got a Lotus behind me, which is Tony Simpson, I think, who's in 4th place. So pretty depressing. I mean, I'm only like, what, again, 2 seconds. It seems to be the pace difference. The leader is always 2 seconds faster than me. Oh, that's Andy Neville. That's had to park it, but he's not for position. So let's see if I get some slaps on the wrist for my lack of talent in this race. Here comes the Lotus, which is just going to breeze past me. I've done it again. This turn 1. It's just killing me. But I think he did back then have to do a lot of thinking at the wheel. Thinking about, you know, the chess pieces, if you will. You had to really be clued up on who was passing you and who you were going to pass. You know, your pit board would show you a certain amount, and you were kind of led to believe that if someone wasn't on your pit board and you were being shown blue flags, then that gives you a clue. So lap 20 of 24. But we've managed to clear off. Sorry about the sound. We've managed to clear off 3. Is it round 3? I think it's round 3. I was just changing some files there. Right. Hang on a second. I don't think the next round is Sugo. I think it's Autopolis. Lap 21 of 24. I'm still in 8th place. We're not going forwards. No real hope of catching up with anybody, unfortunately. Where's my slideshow? Oh, I was looking at the wrong thing. Oh, there's a Honda. There's a Honda. He's come back to me. So how close am I really to this Honda? I'm not too far away with only 2 Oh, he's gone off. Didn't slow him down too much. Right, coming on to the penultimate lap. Can we get 7th back? After all these tribulations of this race, can we get 7th back? We pushed Mark into a mistake at the hairpin before. So we've got some pace, but we are carrying more fuel because we did have to shift R. We did have to reset our car. But I'd imagine that... Oh, Mark! Oh! He was a bit late on the brakes there. We're going to have to do more putting off Mark here. Oh, he's gone wide. He's gone wide. Right, last lap. He's gone wide again. Oh, no. It's because I've been lapped. It's because I've been lapped. Oh, I needed one more lap. Put an ironic hand up. I'm wondering if I actually knew when it was the last lap or not. But I mean, we came across the line, and Mark kind of slowed down and moved across to the right. I had nowhere to go, so I'm hoping that that wasn't seen as malicious. But, oh, that sucks. That sucks. No, we didn't get our 7th place back. Let's see what the moderator had to say about it. So this is the last race of the season 6. So I didn't do Monza. So it did go into 2003. So Andy Neville managed to win Monza. So this would have been round 8. So Andy Neville won that one. Tony Simpson second. Derek Jones in third. 2 Lotuses won. They must have been so far ahead. But a couple of docks of places here. Right, Snetterton. So John Ellis gets first. He managed to win it in his Brabham. I'm guessing that Derek Jones must have had a little bit of a nightmare. So Dave Wilkinson gets dropped 2 places. So he had a podium, but he got knocked out of it. And me and Mark, 7th and 8th. I started 5th, ended up 8th. So, moderator's report. There's only one report. The start's a model of restraint, and there's no instance through the first corner. Everything looked fine into turn 2 until... Oh, he thought that he turned in. Oh. Maybe he did. Okay. It didn't really change it in terms of where I finished. But, so historical race data. 2 drivers were moved up from Division 5 mid-season and were allowed to bring some points with them. Specifically, Dave Wilkinson was given 51 points and Tony Wilkinson was given 49 points. Oh, okay. I'm guessing maybe a couple of people got demoted as well. So if we look at Division 4... So, I always seem to finish around about 5th in the championship. That seems to be my thing. So, and I mean, if I had finished maybe a bit better, I was kind of close to Mark Pickford. But Mark Pickford won 2 races. Because, of course, he won the first race when I disconnected. I still got 15 points for that. And I imagine if I had been there for Rouen and been there for Monza, then maybe I would have jumped ahead. But then, so not too bad. So if I'm 5th in the championship, I don't know if I actually had any help with the team championship. Still finished 2nd in the team championship by 2 points. I was 2 points away. All I needed to do was finish a bit higher up in the final race. So that the person that caused all the trouble in Monaco, he only took part in 2 races. One was Monaco, one was Rouen, and then that was it. So I'm kind of wondering whether he's back in Season 7 in Division 4. That's interesting. Very interesting. So, we're going to move on to Season 7 next. I want to kind of go to Season 7 without ruining who's won it. Season 7. There we go. Oh! Season 7. Chief Moderator Paul Harrington and Membership Secretary Ben Summers. So, doesn't tell me anything about the rules. So I assume that the rules are staying the same. I assume. Let's see. Can we go to... That's Division 4. I mean, I don't know what division I'm in next season. Right, let's see. No, that's the wrong one. Let's have a look. Season 7. I'm in Division 3 in Season 7. So, in Season 7, my moderator is Malk Bywaters. So there we go. So we will get to that when we get to it. So it is, what is the time? It's 5 o'clock. I've got half an hour before I'm back, but I'm going to just refresh myself and make sure that I've got all of the details for the next stream. So I'm coming back in half an hour, and we're going to be streaming some Super Formula Renault. So I still didn't do the next stream command. Why do I always do that? So I'm going to be commentating on a Super Formula Renault championship race. I believe it's round 3, and I thought it was Autopolis, or I thought it was Sugo, but I think it's Autopolis. So I'm going to have to make sure that I've got the right stuff for that. So it should be fun. The races are 60 minutes long. There's normally about 10 or more drivers in it, and they're normally quite competitive. So I've got to get myself prepared for that. So I'll be back at about half an hour, exactly half an hour, because I'm going to be live at about 5:30. So join me in 30 minutes for some Super Formula Renault. So I'll see you then.